everyone, it's Alejandra, and in this video I'm going to show you how to organize a space all the way from getting started to finishing up an entire room. So a lot of times when we think of organizing an entire space, we think that it's going to be so overwhelming because there's just so much stuff and we just don't know where to start. And getting started is usually the hardest part. Once you can get started, it becomes a lot easier. So in this video, I'm going to use the kitchen as an example of how to organize the entire space. So the kitchen is, you know, everyone has different size kitchens. In this kitchen here, you can see that there's a lot of stuff inside the cabinets, on the countertops, just like around the general space. Like when I look around, I'm just like, wow, there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff to do. And I just feel like anxiety on where to begin organizing. So I'm just going to run through the cabinets and tell you just like some general thoughts that come to mind as I'm looking at the space and I'm looking at what's working and what's not working. And then I'm going to talk about where to actually start inside this space. So over here on this side of the kitchen, the fridge is right here, and this is the cabinet next to the fridge. So when you're thinking of where things should be placed, you want to think of how things are used. So for example, the refrigerator is here, so you want to have all the glasses and the mugs and like kind of like the dishes in this area because the oven is here. So plates and bowls are going to be in this cabinet, and then cups, glasses, and mugs in this cabinet because of the proximity to the appliance that kind of goes with the item. So up here inside this cabinet, you can see it's kind of just like a big hodgepodge of random stuff. Like you can see that there's glasses here, so there was some attempt to keep the glasses next to the fridge where they belong, but there's also bowls here, there's some water bottles, there's food storage containers, there's wine glasses. Like looks like, just looking up there, I can see there's like so many different sets of wine glasses. There's the stem wine glasses and there's stemless, there's water bottles up there, and then on the very top shelf, there's like holiday bins or cookie tins and stuff. So it just seems like there was no real planning that went involved when this cabinet was organized or things were put inside. So my suggestion for this cabinet is to just keep it with glasses and wine glasses at the top and then maybe water bottles. But we will get there later. In this cabinet up here, there are plates, there's glasses. Now, like I said, up over here is next to the fridge, so you want to have all the glasses. So what I would do here is I would move these glasses from this cabinet to this cabinet here. Up here, there are more food storage containers, there's mixing bowls, there's plates, there's bowls at the top. Now, I don't know why the plates are all the way at the top. I'd imagine that's so difficult to access. My best guess is that those aren't being used, and so that's why they're in the top cabinet, the top shelf. And if something is not being used, then there's really no sense in keeping it. If you don't plan to use it in the future, you should just give it to someone else who can actually use it. What else is up here? There's like a can opener, there are measuring cups. That stuff traditionally would go inside drawers because it's more like gadgets as opposed to serving dishes. One thing that is working inside this cabinet are the plates. The plates are next to the stove because when you are serving dinner or serving breakfast, you grab a plate and you, if you're cooking on the stove, you take the pot and then you serve on the plate. And then it's also conveniently located next to the dishwasher, which is right here. So when you're unloading the dishwasher, you take everything out and you want to have it very close so you don't have to walk across the kitchen to put things away. So the plates are working well right there. Up here above the stove and the oven, there are spices, oil, vinegar, and just like random stuff at the very top. Now, one thing you shouldn't do is keep your spices and your oils and your vinegars above the stove or the oven because the heat is going to rise when you're cooking and it's going to make the oil, vinegar, and spices go rancid a lot faster than they would have been if you kept them in the pantry or you kept them in the cabinet next to the stove or the oven. So what I would do is I would pull these things down and then decide where you're going to put them next, but definitely not above the stove or the oven. All right, this cabinet on this side looks like it has a lot of serving dishes. Now, what I like about this cabinet is that the serving dishes are kind of on this side of the kitchen because serving dishes aren't really used. I mean, you use them when you cook dinner and stuff, but a lot of them are used for entertaining or when you have other guests over. So I like how they're kind of away and they're not in your prime real estate, which is over here. So that seems to be working well here. However, it seems like there's just a lot of stuff, like random stuff inside this cabinet, like an oven mitt, there's a hand mixer, there is a baking pan, there's other baking pans, there's towels up there. So this looks like it just needs to be sorted out. We need to decide what the primary function of this cabinet is, whether it's just serving dishes or serving dishes plus other types of dishes. We just need to make that decision. But I do like how serving dishes are here. And then on the last upper cabinet on this side of the kitchen, this looks like it's kind of random also. There are like plastic bags, foil, there's more tins like what there was in that cabinet up there. There's plastic glasses, vases. So again, this just needs to be sorted out and we need to decide what the primary function of that space is going to be. All right, so now that I kind of just showed you some of the areas, maybe we can take a look in some of the drawers and see what's going on here. Okay, so in these drawers down here, I can just immediately see that all the serving utensils and the kitchen gadgets are inside here. Now, just looking at these two drawers, what I would do is I would move all of the gadgets and utensils to this drawer right here because it's next to the oven when you're cooking and you need to grab like a spatula or a whisk or something. It's right here. It's not all the way over here next to the fridge. So that's just one thing that I would think of to do. Another thing is these are really big drawers. They're really wide and they're really deep. So I feel like there needs to be some kind of divider or else you're just like tossing things inside the drawer and things are just going to kind of get lost inside. So we'll get to that later. Over here, I feel like I don't know why this is a tablecloth. I don't know why the tablecloth is in this drawer. I feel like you're not using a tablecloth every day, or at least I don't use tablecloths every day. You might, but if you're not using it every day, you probably shouldn't keep it in the prime real estate next to the oven. Instead, it could go on one of the lower cabinets or all the way at the very top of an upper cabinet. And same thing with like the wax paper, like there's two wax papers here. And it looks like they're both open. So I would just have one wax paper up in here and then put the other one in bulk. So when this one runs out, then you grab your next one. All right, let's see what's inside of the other drawers over here. All right, so in this drawer, you can see there's dish towels and there's like a food scale and really that's about it. I feel like there's a lot of empty space. We can definitely move stuff over to this drawer and use the space or just maximize the space more. And then of course, folded towels. This, I don't know if it's even clean because it's not folded. Okay, so in this drawer, we have all of our silverware, which to me, it doesn't really make sense to have it in this drawer. I would prefer to have it next to the stove or next to the dishwasher. So when you're unloading the dishwasher, you just unload it right here into your silverware organizer. And then it looks like there's more saran wrap and more bags back there, which I would move these together next to the wax paper. And then over here on this countertop, looks like there's even more press and seal and more bags. So all that stuff needs to be grouped together. It just seems like it's spread out. And then over here, it just looks like things just need to be put away. So as you can see, there is a lot of stuff to do inside this kitchen. And unless you have an entire day to devote to organizing the space, my best recommendation is to break it down into sections, like kind of like projects, and do one thing at a time.